A little sips going on over there.
Oh, I'm sorry, this was not the ASMR podcast that we wanted to start.
Okay. Oh, we were doing that. What was that going to be? All right, guys. Welcome back to the last podcast that you'll ever need. This is meant to be. I am Marvin, and with me we have
Rachel.
and like I said, this is the meant to be podcast. As of now, the podcast is officially live, and we've gotten
Woo!
a little brum.
Woo!
Okay, this is still an audio podcast, so people, I am so sorry for anybody with headphones, but
My pleasure.
your pleasure. But yeah, we've gotten some pretty good feedback, I'd say, don't you think?
Yeah, I feel like the feedback's been pretty good.
Okay, good. So
Heard
yeah,
any negatives?
definitely no negatives, but as always, if you guys have any feedback or questions, definitely, make sure you're commenting or DMing, texting, calling, whatever you guys need to do to get in touch with us, because we really do want this to be like the best podcast and the last podcast that you'll ever need. So, did I say podcast?
Yeah.
The last podcast you'll ever need. But last week we kind of mentioned that we were going to be finishing up the conversation on wedding planning. So today we're gonna kind of wrap everything all together, and I think we're gonna get started with like the wedding parties.
Ooh, I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea where we left off last time. So if y'all hear something over again, get over it. It's fine.
Yeah, you'll be fine. You're gonna hear lots of stories being told multiple times from multiple different POVs. So enjoy.
Yes. And I am one, if known for anything, to repeat myself. But sometimes it's gonna happen. It's gonna be the way it's gonna be.
Yeah, you guys will get to know us as like the partners that we are. And of course, when you're in a relationship with someone, you're going to hear these same stories over and over again. You just have to imagine it's the first time that you're ever hearing this. So here we are, guys. We're all in a relationship.
All in a relationship.
Us and all of our listeners.
Yes, of course.
All right. So with wedding parties, we had what I would think is kind of like a bigger wedding.
Oh no, we had a really big wedding party.
Yeah, we had 8 each. Was it kind of like a mutual agreement when we started picking out names and stuff that we were like, it's getting up there?
I feel like kind of after I kept saying names, like I feel like at first we were probably gonna do a little bit smaller. We were like, oh yeah, maybe like 4 and 4. And then I was like, well, that makes no sense because then like if I chose 4 people, I was already so limited because 2 of them would be my sisters. And then trying to pick the other 2, impossible. Like impossible. So I feel like as I was, going through the process of like who I was going to have in my party, I kept being like, oh, Marvin, I have to have this person.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'd be like, okay, I can add this person. And then be like, Marvin, I want to add this person. You're like, okay, I can add this person.
Yeah, I definitely think I matched your freak when it came to that, but I wasn't mad at adding more people to the wedding party because there were so many people that I really did want to have up there with me and with us. And I think we kind of accomplished that, right?
Yeah, I think it worked out like in the end of who all we like. I mean, if it were me, I'd probably have 1 or 2 more, but that's just because
1 or 2 more. Who would be these 1 or 2 more?
I want to say names.
Oh, now we don't want to name names.
I feel like, okay, if I were to name names, it'd be Hannah and Jules.
Hannah and Jules. We have had that conversation. I know when we were planning, you did possibly mention you adding Jules, but then I think we decided against it for some reason. I don't know why.
No, it wasn't that we decided against it.
I think
we just decided we wouldn't add any more people, and then we also were like,
people up there would have been crazy.
Okay, it would have been like, whatever. I guess if you add it all up. Hi, Hunter. Welcome to the podcast.
Yes, Hunter has joined us. If you are on audio, Hunter, please do not lick the microphone, bro. All right, that's fine. Just right in my face, Hunter. Okay. So yeah, if we were adding 2 more people, you would have added Jules and Hannah.
I would have for sure. Just I think on the timing that I met Jules in, it was around the time that we were getting engaged and stuff, and I already pretty much had my people picked out, and her and I were still just getting to know each other like really well. So that was where I was like, well, yeah, of course I would want to add her. But I will say the beauty is that she did my hair for the wedding, and then she did most of the girls' hair for the wedding, and makeup. So for me, in a way, I still had her part of my wedding day. And then like She came to like our bachelorette parties and everything. So I felt like she was a part of my wedding day in a way, like without having to be like specifically like in the party. So that made it a little bit like better for me to know that like she was still a part of it.
You're killing me. Thank you. But yeah, I definitely get that because I know Jules was like kind of a big part of us, and like when it comes to our friendship, just being in Tampa,
Mm-hmm.
Jules and Austin were like, very important. We were always hanging out with them, always talking, and
Yeah.
just that kind of kept us going here in Tampa for a while, especially in like real low points. The lowest point being our accident, but
Mm-hmm.
they were always there for us whenever we needed them, and just a nice little break from everything going on
Yeah.
in our lives in the world, just taking the stress off of us getting to hang out with them.
Yeah. I think they were in our lives exactly where we needed them to be in our point where we were new to Tampa and we needed people who were basically like already knew kind of Tampa and to help us kind of navigate and get around and get on our feet. So that I was very appreciative for. But my wedding party was very like, I would say kind of meticulously planned out. Of course, my sister and one of my best friends was my maid of honors. My sister was my matron of honor, and then Bree was my maid of honor. And then I had my girls, Micah and Naomi, Josefina, my sister-in-law, Allie, Avish, Abby. Am I missing anybody?
You're God if you are.
Well, because it's saying all the names out loud. Okay, so it was
Count.
Heather, Bree, Allie, Micah, Naomi, Josefina, Abby, Avish. I did name everybody.
Okay, you got it. There we go. Good, good, good.
Yeah.
So nice.
Did I name that the first time around?
I think so, because you definitely hit Tavish earlier.
Oh, okay, good. Okay. Because I'm like, I'm pretty sure I hit everybody, but I always have to like go through my head and think because again, it was a lot of people.
Yeah, we did.
And I definitely knew like my maids of honors, like Heather and Bree. I knew like they'd be able to tag team and make a really, really good, fun experience for my bridal party and like everybody there. And it was like I picked those two out because I know like they're really good at like planning. Heather's really good with like the gift aspect of things. Bree's really good with like the planning aspect of things. So for me, I feel like I planned that out exactly how I wanted it to because I know that like they would be able to keep things moving and keep everybody on track. And they did, and they were really good at it. And like I'm so blessed to have had the party that I had. Everybody got along. Everybody worked well together. Like there's always like those little things, but like they were so small that it didn't even matter. We had the best time. And like I always hear the horror stories of like people who have like had to kick out a bridesmaid from their bridal party because they like acted out or did something to somebody else or like they weren't getting along. And for me, like I didn't have to deal with any of that. Everybody got along. Everybody had fun. Like parties that they planned. Cause I told them, I was like, just surprise me. Just like, let's have a good time. So they really made, honestly, like the best experience for me, like leading up to the wedding, having like the most comfortable wedding. Because like even the day of when things weren't going right, like they were very good to like hold that back. So then that way I wasn't panicking because they know that like I'm a panicker. I'm an overthinker. And the minute something comes up, it's not like panic, it's just like the anxiety turns me into like a so it's like in order to prevent the they were really, really, really good on just keeping me calm and like enjoying the entire time that we had, like the whole week that we had together when they came to Florida for the wedding. Like we just had a blast, like the most fun.
Yeah, I definitely know when it comes to picking out a wedding party, you don't want to just pick some people that you're kind of cool with and you kind of know, or people that are like aesthetically pleasing just for the sake of the pictures and stuff. You want to actually pick people that are going to get the job done,
Yeah.
make sure you're taken care of, the day is going as well as it possibly can,
Yeah.
and just really being there for you. And I think we both were able to get that done because we both had really strong parties.
Oh yeah, because like I mean, Abby, she'd known me. We've known each other since we were born.
Wait, real quick, Spitfires, say one good thing about each person for your party.
Oh, that's so cute. Okay, one good thing about each person in my bridal party. Heather, really thoughtful. Bree, just such a good person. Allie, really creative in her own unique way. Tavish, she is so intelligent. Naomi, she is probably one of the most beautiful women I know. Josefina, she is so uniquely like creative. Micah, the talent that she has in so many different things and like sports and art and the way that she can articulate words is really, really beautiful. Abby, she has such a grace and patience about her. What else am I missing? Did I name everybody? Was that 8?
I thought you were counting because I saw your fingers.
I thought I was counting, but I realized that I had to like stop because I can't use my wing.
Well, that's why you get to 5 and then you start over.
I don't know. I did say Heather, I said Brie, I said Naomi, I said Abby, I said...
That's Seffi?
I did say Seffi. Okay, I think I did. I think I hit everybody. If I didn't, I love you so much. And
God, this is the problem when it comes with like picking out a giant party. You're going to forget some names when it comes to rattling off everybody.
I don't think I did. I don't think I did.
I also don't think you did, but it's like, I know I've gone through so many people, but did I not hit this person earlier? So that's where it comes with just that. But of course, if we forget anybody, because again, you had 8 and I had 8. Yeah. So if I forget anybody in my 8, I do also love you. And you guys really came through for me on the day of.
Well, all those girls are that's like, if you think of like a core friend group, that is like my core. That is like who I go to the most for advice and for like anything that I need. That's like that core group for me. And I'm so like blessed to have such a big core group of friends because not a lot of people have that in their lives. And I think both of us are really blessed to have that. Like I found somebody else who has the same type of friendships and same type of friend group because like I said, Abby's known me since birth. Well, I've known her since birth. My sister-in-law, Allie, has known me since I was 9 years old, 10 years old. My sister, oh my gosh. No, I did say Allie. I did. Never mind. My sister, of course, has known me since birth. And then like Tavish has known me since kindergarten. Micah has known me since we knew each other in the 4th grade. But like when our friendship really, really took off was like, I would say high school. Because like, you know, 4th graders, whatever they do. 4th graders do whatever they do. And then like Naomi and Seffi, they're cousins. I met them on a cruise ship with Brie. Brie, her and I were work besties. And our friendship goes, I think, 8 years. And then with Naomi and Seffi, Seffi is short for Josefina. We just call her Seffi. But that relationship, we just hit 5 years. So I feel like everybody that was like a part of my big day has been a part of my life for like a good amount of time and all in like areas of lives that like I needed them. So I'm very, very grateful that I have them in my life.
Yeah, I was also very happy to see you pick such a really good and strong core. I know getting to know these girls has been such a blast because I think they're all such wonderful girls and there's never a dull moment when it comes to talking or hanging.
Never. Every time we get together, we get this like high, this high. And then we want to spend every minute of every day together, like every minute. Like when they were here for New Year's, like we would get up early and then like we would be together until like 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, and then like do it all over again. And what's funny is when I look back on that from New Year's, we did the same thing when we first met on the cruise. When we first met on a cruise, Brie and I went on that cruise for my 22nd birthday. I had just come out of the worst relationship of my life, my very first ever relationship. And I was like, I want to get away from here. Let's go on a cruise. They booked a cruise and Naomi and Seffi were on that cruise. And so when we met the very first day of that cruise. And when I tell you, we spent every single day together. And again, we were up until like 5 in the morning. And then we would have to be up that next morning at like 7 in the morning to go on our excursions, like on the island. So we would be like dead tired. So yeah, like it's one of those things that like even during the Bachelorette parties, like we were just so hopped up on like energy from being around each other. We just give each other this like energy. It's just great.
Honestly, it's great to see and just be around. Y'all are a very infectious bunch. So shout out to all the girls and love y'all. Come back anytime.
So what about you with planning out like your kind of bridal party for the guys? What was kind of going through your head?
Yeah, so I think I'm like the second person to get married out of my group. So it wasn't ever like, oh, this person picked me, so I gotta pick them or
Right.
anything. It was kind of just like me going off of what I felt and when it comes to the closeness that I have with these guys.
Mm-hmm.
So picking Alan was a no-brainer. Alan was
Of
never
course.
not gonna be on the party. Alan is,
If he wasn't going to marry me, he was going to marry Alan.
honest to God, whether platonic or not, he is one of my, if not you, my soulmate. So there we go.
Ah,
So Alan was always going to be a lock. I know for me, Adriana was always going to be a lock. I
Yeah.
know that was not something that we like butted heads on, but like when I first told you I wanted a groomswoman, you were like, Marvin, I love you. There's absolutely no way in hell there's going to be a woman up there standing up to you. That's not me.
okay. First of all, trauma. That was based on trauma.
And I'm sure it was, but I was like, wait a minute. This is like one of my like actual closest friends. She and I have been through the ups and downs. She's
Yeah.
been there when like my dad's died. I've been there for her when she's almost died just in the hospital.
Yeah.
So like that's why it was like, let me break this down and let you just really see. And then of course that was before you actually had gotten to meet and know her, because of now you absolutely love her.
I love her. I'm obsessed with her. And that was more so, okay, I will say when I said no instinctually, that was literally based on instinct. That was like the immediate reaction that I had because of my past relationship issues. Like I had an ex who claimed that like he had female friends and they weren't doing anything. Found out he was cheating on me behind my back with them. So for me, it was more of a trigger than like an actual like based on her. And I remember catching myself too in that moment when you did tell me. And when I did say no at first, I had to catch myself and be like, and I asked you, I said, tell me why she is important. And then when you did explain all those things to me, why she was important to be there, then that was when I was like, okay, I'm okay with that. And getting to know her and getting to meet her through that process. Because when we were engaged, I knew of her, like I definitely knew of her, but we didn't really get a chance to like spend time together yet. And so when I finally was able to like text her, talk to her, sit with her, like I thought she was lovely. And I thought definitely like, oh, this is somebody that not only like you're going to be friends with, but I'm going to be friends with too, being with you. And I feel that way about like all your female friends. I think there was only one that I really was like, nah, she got to go.
Mhm.
She was getting a little too friendly with you. And I was not okay with that. But that was something that like you were very nice enough to be like, oh yeah, like she's gone. That's fine. And I never had a relationship like that where somebody was like, okay with just dropping somebody for me. Usually it would be like, why? Why do you want me to drop her? Like if you, and then like they would turn on me being like, but you're supposed to be strong, confident woman, but yet you're intimidated by her. I'm not intimidated by her. I just don't like the fact that that person thinks it's okay to try to get to a level of closeness with you, but not do the same for me or turn around and try to be friends with me. And it's like, if you can be friends with me, I'll be friends with you and we can be cool. But like there was no effort to be friends with me. It was only you. And that was one of the biggest things for me that I was like, you gotta go.
Yeah, and I think pretty much not just because you're so damn lovable. Anytime I take you anywhere, everyone loves you. And like all of my friends have all loved you. They all look forward to meeting you. I know we hung out for my mom's engagement. We went over there and
Oh my God,
everybody there loves you and looks for you. So like, I know everybody like absolutely adores you. So
Yeah.
I never have to like worry about anybody not liking you. So yeah.
Yeah. And so, no, I definitely love Adriana. And once I got to hear all the things that they about your guys' relationship and then also getting to know her and like the fact that she wanted to get to know me so bad too, I was like, all right, she's in. She's definitely in.
And then I think from Adriana, I had my twin cousins, Austin and Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to them, like they're probably the closest thing I have to like brothers. I'm an only child, if you guys don't already know that. But growing up, we would spend like sometimes summers, definitely Thanksgiving, definitely Christmas, and I like always look forward to seeing them. So there was never a doubt in my mind about not having them up there with me as well. I got to return the favor to Austin when he got married last year. So
Yeah.
there we go there. Besides them, I had Jordan, who is just such like a boy, just like someone that you're always
boy.
just a boy, someone that you're like so down and so comfortable with. Like he and I have just like had like the most stupidest conversation, but then just like some of the most like honest and down to earth conversations. And then of course, like we explained in I think the last episode or the first episode or whatever, how he came through for us with the engagement picture.
Yeah.
So just I know I needed to have Jordan up there just with like that kind of connection that we have had. Besides him, I had Kyle, who I've known since middle school, and I'm like, I've been at his house like at least once a week since we met. Just like we've always gotten close and we've gotten to see each other just in like the different people that we've been in since high school, middle school, college, adult life, dating, marriage, and all that stuff. So the way that we've grown and grown closer, I knew I needed to have Kyle up there. I had Thomas, who is someone that I don't even go like a week without like talking to. He'll call me once a week and he'll be like, "Sad, dude." And I'm like, "Sad, dude." So he just talks to me about just whatever's going on in his life, and I kind of like do the same. So Thomas and I have gotten close, but we weren't always like as close. Like when we first met, like I felt like I was not on the outs of the group, but I felt like I didn't like necessarily fit in with my friends. But then over time, I got to like really get to know everybody, and we became really close.
Yeah.
Also, I just realized that I haven't been counting, so now I kind of have to. I think that's six.
You said, hold on, Alan, Adriana, Andrew, Austin, Jordan, Kyle, Thomas.
Okay, so I was right. I knew exactly where I was. And then Miguel. Miguel is someone who will probably be on the podcast one of these days. We definitely try to get him on here. But he and I met when I was in high school and I was in an a cappella group, just the most random thing. And we'll go more deep into this story of like how we met and all that stuff. We'll get to the a cappella stuff. We'll probably do like a high school or something like that. But yeah. And he and I just got like really close because he was our beatboxer / rapper and I was our like bassist. So based off of that, he and I just built this like real close relationship. And he also mixed, mastered, produced all of the stuff when it came to like my mixtape. So he and I have just also had like the deepest conversations. And like, in fact, when I went away to college, like I spent, I want to say like the week leading up to it, just spending time with everyone, and everything was fine. But the night before I went away to college, I hung out with him and we had like our little heart to heart conversation. And as I am driving home, I just start bawling. I'm like, I've been fine this entire time, but after hanging out with Miguel, knowing that I'm not going to see him for just a few weeks, I'm going off to college, it's not that big of a deal. But I couldn't help myself. I was bawling. So those are the types of friendships and bonds I built with these just incredible people. So it was great to have them up there. They really supported me and just like really took care of me. They were there for me and just all the great things. So I think that can kind of transition into how everyone kind of stepped up and like really took care of us. And that goes into our Bachelorette parties, which when it comes to that, I do want to say, if you guys have any idea what you want to do for your Bachelorette, definitely like speak up and say those things. Outside of that, you're in for the ride. And that was me because I had no idea what I wanted to do, but I was not mad at everything. I think, and guys, if you see this, hear this, definitely correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like Adriana kind of like took the reins with her ideas. And from there, everyone kind of like made it happen as well because they were all there and she wasn't at the actual party. She did reveal to me like later on that there were like elements that they didn't incorporate because I think it was supposed to be Love Island. Yeah, she said someone's supposed to be like, "Oh, I got a text," and all those kind of things, which also would have been fine, but I don't think any of them watched Love Island to like happen.
She was texting me about it and was like, "I'm trying to get them all on board with the Love Island theme," and then like a few days later, she's like, "Yeah, I don't think the Love Island theme is going to work." She's like, "None of them know anything about this. None of them know what we're talking about." So she was like, "I think they're just going to stick to their like just a regular plan."
Yeah, they're not like reality TV kind of people the way that we are.
Oh my
I know
gosh,
you and I watch reality TV.
Love messy.
It's trash, but we enjoy it. And Adriana and I have like bonded over TV talks just over the years. So it makes sense for her to go the Love Island route, but for this group, that just wasn't going to happen.
No.
But overall, I had a really great time at my bachelor party. I know we kicked off the night with, I think, putt or mini golf, whatever you want to call it. I really don't know the difference. But we kind of started there. And after that, we went to do karaoke. And I had never like actually done karaoke, but we had our own private room. So it's just me, the boys, drinks flowing, some food, and our own
videos.
Yes, there are videos.
I would send
our own little jukebox, kind of just like and really enjoying the night and really getting up there and having fun. I remember me and Alan did a Skate by Silk Sonic. I remember there randomly being the guys doing Chop Suey, which I know, but of course I don't actually know the lyrics to, but they had a fun time with that. What else happened? I remember Austin being the idiot that he is. He does this whole speech and he is like, this song goes out to like my ex-wife. And then it's just like some disc country song. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ. So
then your cousin Austin?
No, Austin.
My gosh.
So yeah, we just had like a really good time, just like boys being boys, singing a bunch of songs in this little private room doing karaoke.
Yeah.
But it was a really good time because that was where Austin got to meet a lot of my boys and they got to meet him and they all had a really good time. I think that's when Miguel got to really meet a lot of my friends and they all really got to know each other. They follow each other. I know Miguel has hung out with them over in Orlando, like without us. And it's good to see people just like come together and really, really bond. Cause feel like when it comes to incorporating friend groups, that doesn't always go that way. And you kind of keep that apart. Like I've known Miguel since like junior year, but I never had him hang out with Kyle, Allen, and the other guys. But seeing them all come together was really cool. How about you?
That definitely was like the same for me. A lot of my girls kind of knew of each other, but never really hung out. Like Tavish and Micah, we like grew up in school together. So like by high school, the three of us were really close. Like we hung out together. We did everything together. I found out that Micah and Bree actually knew each other because they used to race against each other in track. So that was really cool to find out. But they never like hung out. They just knew each other from like meets. And then, of course, Josefina, Naomi, and Bree and myself were all friends because of the cruise. But they didn't really know Micah or Tavish that well either, or Abby. Abby kind of knew like Micah and Tavish because, again, Abby also came to the same school that we went to. Me, Micah, Abby, and Tavish were all in this high school group called Powder Room. It was just for women. And then Tavish, Micah, and Abby's moms were all like our Powder Room moms. So their moms are like my moms. I'm really close with their moms. I love their moms. Like they're my own mothers. And so, yeah, like the three of us kind of knew each other from there. And then Bree, Naomi, Sefi, we knew each other like over here. And then Heather and my sister-in-law, Allie, like are over here. So when I got them all together, that was something I was nervous about. But like the way we just all clicked like perfectly, all our humor and all our jokes and all of our mannerisms just like flowed really, really well. And then when we added Jules to the mix, it was just like chef's kiss. It was perfect. And they did also surprise me. I told them, I said, I don't really care what we do. I just want to have fun with you guys. They actually did a 2-day bachelorette party for me, which was so fun. Got
to see the first day.
Yeah, so the first day we did brunch at this really, really cute spot. Unfortunately, it no longer exists. It was in Soho in Tampa, and we were there for brunch. It was such a pretty place. And then we went home, changed, and we went to the beach for a couple of hours, and we brought like beach balls, and they had like a tent, and they had these little blow up little like beds that you could lay in. And so we were all just relaxing on the beach. And then afterwards, we went and we got changed again. And then they ended up doing reservations for the Starship yacht, which if those of you who don't know what Starship yacht is, it is it's like a boat that goes around kind of like the Tampa canal. And is it a canal? The bay. And you can have you get a meal. And then it's not free drinks, but, girl math, you already paid to get on, so it's free drinks. So for 2 hours. So we were on there and they had a DJ on the boat. They had all these things. So we were just partying and having a good time. Day 2 rolls around. And for those of you who don't know, during this time, Marvin and I had 3 apartments at one time because we were getting his cleared out and mine cleared out as we had purchased the one that we were going to live in together
as man and wife.
As man and wife. So we had for 2 weeks 3 apartments. So what we did
do not recommend it. It was the worst thing ever. But sometimes
Rough.
you cannot avoid it.
It was rough. But what worked out is all the girls stayed in one of the apartments together, and then the other apartment was open. So they threw me a bachelorette party in the apartment, and they like decked it out. They got blow up chairs. They brought a margarita maker. They brought stuff for tacos. They had games. They had like it all decked out. It was so fun. And then, so that night we were just like partying and having a good time. And it was funny is you actually got your hair cut
Yeah.
there that night.
Just watching y'all party, and then Jules is just, giving me a nice little fade in that job.
Yes. So that was like the perfect ending, I think, to like that apartment, because that was my very first apartment living in Florida. And so that was like a really good way to kind of like wrap it up. Because actually today, 3 years ago is when I moved from Toledo to Tampa. So when I had my party there, it was really nice to have like a full circle. And it was like the end to my first apartment. And just to see how far I'd already come within a year of living here, it was like really great to see. So that was such a fun time. I remember we just had a blast the entire weekend. Definitely woke up a little, not completely, but just like a little queasy.
Yeah, that'll happen.
But I think it was mostly not like that I was nervous to get married, but I was a little queasy just because of the, of course, the drinks were kind of flowing. And then at the same time, all of a sudden it hits me like I'm getting married. And I just remember, though, the next morning I did really quickly at like 5 a.m. I vomited in the toilet. My mom, it was really cute. My dad actually, when I got to my parents' place, because I stayed with my parents in a condo that they got with my siblings and my nephews, and we stayed in this condo. Well, they were staying in the condo, and I decided to stay with them for my final night before getting married so that we were separated. And my dad got up from the bed and moved into the living room, and I was curled up next to my mommy the night before my wedding, and it was the cutest thing ever. So it was really nice. But then I woke up at 5 a.m. and I vomited in their bathroom, and my mom was like, "Wedding jitters," and I'm like, I was like, "Yeah, that's it, Mom."
Your bachelorette will really do that to you, because I know on my end, I felt like I didn't drink too much, but I still had my nice good amount of margaritas. But I do remember for the other guys, after we had finished partying and all that stuff, we went over to McDonald's to get food. And when we brought that back to the house, we couldn't really find Miguel.
Yeah, what the heck?
Listen, I don't know. I don't even remember why. Like, I feel like we can try to figure this out together.
Remember.
Okay. Even though she wasn't there, she's just also heard.
Because I heard the stories, and anyways, so Miguel like goes out to his car to like get something. And he falls asleep in the car.
He didn't even have to get all the way in the car.
I don't know if he was on the phone or something. Like something happened where he was either like on the phone, but something got him to like sit in the car, and he sat and then he falls asleep. And instead of these men going and looking for him to make sure he's okay, Jordan eats his food. First off, Jordan's like, "I hope Miguel's okay," and then like eats his food. And then everybody else goes to sleep. Y'all all went to sleep.
It was my bachelor party. As soon as I got back to the apartment, I fell asleep. I paid for that big old bed. I jumped right into it. I was knocked out. So that's not on me. That's on them.
Crazy how like if the tables were turned, if it happened with the women, we would not sleep until every woman was accounted for. We would not lay our head down until we knew everybody was safe and sound in the home. Y'all are a different breed, I'm telling you what.
Man.
Leaving this man out in the parking lot to sleep.
Everybody made it to the wedding day. Everybody was up there. We got all our pictures. So, I mean, hey.
Difference, too, is that, like, you guys did it 2 days before the wedding. We did ours 2 days before the wedding and the night before the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of 2 days in a row of, like, partying. And so, like, I was just really tired. But the morning of the wedding was great. The girls and I, we got ready really early just because I really wanted to make sure that, like, we were good on time.
Mm-hmm.
And from the last episode, I had said how my one photographer ghosted me and how my one stepped up. So I wanted to make sure that we were all ready at a decent time so that she could get started at a decent time. So we got ready really, really early. And I was really nervous. I'm not going to lie. I was really nervous. Not in like...
You're not alone.
Yeah, not in like a bad way. Like, I knew we were going to get married.
Knew I was saying yes.
Like, I knew I was saying yes too. I knew I'd get up there and say I do. It wasn't anything like that. I just don't know what it is. It's just something about it. Like, it just like gets you kind of like nervous. And I think it was more so I wanted things to be like good. I wanted things to like flow.
Yeah.
I wanted things to be okay. I didn't want things to be a mishap. You know, combining our two families, I was worried about like different types of people meeting, and like I just want to make sure nobody would butt heads or nobody would like cause any trouble. Like I just wanted us to have like a really good time. And we had the best time, I think, personally. I being biased or whatever, but I do think we had the best time. And when we got ready, we were like in the car, and like I'm when I'm nervous, I'm silent. When I'm anxious, I'm silent. So like I'm sitting in the car and I'm between two of my girls. I'm sitting there and I'm just like leg bouncing, going crazy. And they're like, "You're okay. It's okay. Like, do you want to talk about it?" And I'm like, "I'm okay. Like, I know I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay." And then we were getting there. I put on my dress, and my mom and my sister are helping me with like my veil and my shoes and everything. And like we're crying because like it's a really emotional day and like they're so happy for me. And I remember me and the girls were like taking our photos. We're having a really good time. We get back into the dressing room again, and like I'm nervous. I'm so nervous. I'm sitting there like I'm feeling all the feelings. And the minute my wedding coordinator came in the room and was like, "It's time," I was so excited. I like jumped up. I was ready to go. I was so happy. Like I don't know what it was. It was like a switch that like hit me, and the nerves went away, and I just wanted to like get down the aisle. Like I was so excited. I don't know if you saw that on me as I was walking down the aisle.
What do you mean? It's not like you weren't bouncing around like a little bunny just ready to get married. It's so giddy.
Literally like bouncing. There's like videos that different people took of me, and like I hit the corner and I'm like like my mouth is like,
There's at least one picture where you're just like the biggest smile on your face and everybody's just like, wow.
like my gums in the back of my mouth.
And then as we're standing up there, like Sean's doing his thing, you know, dearly beloved, we have gathered here today, and you're just like,
I literally like the walk, you have to like stop at the front and then turn, because I had both my parents on either side of me. It was very important that I had both my parents walk me down the aisle. So we turn, and then we get to the front of the aisle before we make like the walk to you. And I remember we had to like stop for like a photo, and you hear me in somebody's video that was standing like right there, and you hear me go, "Okay, let's go." And like, I'm like pulling them to go up because I'm so excited. I'm like, and yeah, up there I was like nervous, but I was really excited. And I remember, gosh, our vows and everything. I know I'll have to like read those again one day,
of course.
but no, it was like really, really nice. And I had all my girls standing next to me. He had all his guys standing next to him. And the reception was so much fun. It was just a good wedding.
It was.
And everybody that I've talked to has said how good of a wedding it was.
Everyone.
And like, my dad didn't tell me that he was going to do this, but while we were taking photos with the bridal party, and then like, it was like just after we had done the family photos. So we did all the family photos after the ceremony with like the parents and the grandparents and the family members. And then it came time for like the bridal party. My dad, the extrovert that he is, decided to go into the reception hall during cocktail hour and go to every single table with my mother and introduce himself to everybody and then ask who they knew and how. So then when I come into the reception, well, after we made our grand entrance that I'm pretty sure we spoke about in the last one.
Yeah.
Once we did that and we were done with all our dances and we're just sitting up there eating and people are talking to us, I kept getting people coming up to me being like, "Your dad is so sweet. Your dad is so nice. Oh my gosh." Like your granddad came up to me at one point and was like, "I love your dad. Your dad is great." And I was like, "What?" So all of you guys. And then I go up to my dad. I'm like, "Dad, did you go to every table and like say hi, like as a joke?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, okay, well, cute one. I thought that was cute. But I was also like, oh my gosh, of course, this extroverted man cannot sit down.
That's that donor for you.
It was precious though. I let him, because he didn't officiate the wedding, my brother did. but my dad has officiated many a weddings, and I wanted him to be a dad for mine. And so, but I did give him the chance to speak right before and do our prayer. So I gave him the chance to speak, and I was like, Dad, please keep this under like 5 minutes. The prayer and the speech all together. You got 5 minutes. Because I know it's precious, but I know he can just go because he's a public speaker. He's good at this. So you got 5 minutes, man. And he did it in a decent amount of time.
He did great.
The prayer went a little bit longer than I would have liked. I was hungry, but we made it. We made it alive. We made it out.
Yeah. My thing, that's kind of like your perspective of the day. I think from my perspective of the day, I think ladies, I don't think very little will piss y'all off less than the fact that you're going to get up at like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning to start getting ready for your wedding day. And the men is just going to roll out of bed and show up. So for me, God, I was well rested. I got up at like 9, 10 o'clock in the morning.
We were up at like 7, 8 in the morning.
Yeah. And for the guys, we just started watching Scrubs. Like, I think we got through almost an entire season of Scrubs before we had to like start getting ready. And everything was fine and chill on my end. I think I had to remember to bring the mirrors with the table settings and all that. But besides that, I was so chill up until I actually got to the venue and I was getting ready. I think minutes before that's when I started to get nervous and I felt like this knot in my stomach. And Thomas was like, "Are you okay? Do you need anything?" And I was like, "I could really use a glass of water." Well, he went and got that for me. And I'm just like, I'm drinking the glass and I'm so nervous and I'm just like pacing and all the guys are like, "You okay? Do you need anything?" I'm like, "I'm okay. I'm just really nervous for everything. I've been practicing for the past few weeks to make sure I'm not going to mess up this Andre 3000 verse. And then I'm going to go get married." But when Cheyenne said it was time to go, I was like, "All right, let's do this." So I'm standing there and I'm like waiting for them to hit the music. They're like, "Let us know when you're ready." And I'm like, "All right, let's go." So they hit play. I go out there, I do my thing, and I'm like, okay, I can relax. Things are good. I'm ready to go. And then I do still feel the nervousness, but once, I think my party came out after me or before me?
No, they came out before you.
Before me. So
then that way you could do your verse,
yes.
Andre 3000 verse, and then you walk up and everybody's there. And then my music kicked in. And that's when my girls started
yeah, seeing your girls making their way down, that's when I started to like relax a little bit. But that's when the emotion starts to swell because your guy doesn't cry at the wedding, then I don't know what you're doing. You might as well, turn back around and let's start this over and get it right. Take 2. But for me, I wasn't sure if I was going to cry like leading up to the wedding. Yeah. But during our wedding rehearsal, like the little run through where we were like doing the verse and everybody's coming down, I started to get choked up during that. So that's what I was like, I'm not going to make it through the wedding where I'm definitely going to cry. And as soon as you like step out, that's when like, I'm just like, oh my God, I'm about to marry this woman. And that's when like my nerves go away and I'm like, okay. Especially seeing how like happy and giddy you were, that definitely was like, okay, we're good. We got this. It's not just another day, but this is our moment and we're really about to go do this thing and I'm going to spend the rest of my life with this woman.
Yeah.
So that's where things just like line up and the rest of the day just goes so well. Like we had so much fun at the wedding, even with like little mishaps for like, what is it? The SD cards going missing or like having one less photographer, any of that. Like the rest of the night, we really just like lined it up and made the most out of everything.
No, it was really fun. And that was a shock because you told me you've only cried like twice in your life.
I don't really cry.
So when I saw him crying, I was like,
I'm not like a robot, but like I just don't like cry. Like I'm pretty much like put together when it comes to things like that or things in general.
Well, I'm a hot mess, so good for you.
Okay, well, that's what I'm here for.
But as like I was getting excited and bouncy, like there were tears of joy just like coming down my eyes. I was saying that I feel like I'm not crying right now. They're just literally something landed in my eyes. I was talking about it. It's called my emotions. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know what landed in my eye. He's a Lynn. I'm okay. I'm okay.
You got this.
Okay. He's great. I'm okay. Okay.
You good?
We're good.
Okay.
So I was, crying tears of joy as I was like bouncing down the aisle, but I know, of course, it probably didn't look like I was crying because of how bouncy I was. Like I was just hyper.
Just ready.
I was just ready. But that was one of those moments too that it was like, it's gonna sound so corny. But yes, when I did see you, when I hit that corner and I like saw you waiting for me and then I saw you crying, I'm crying. And it really did feel like we were like the only two there, like standing there with each other. So when I looked back at the photo and I was like, oh my God, all these people were here. And because it just felt like it was just you and me. But that's what made it so beautiful. Like I said, our vows were really fun. And I was the one that did tell you that I love you most. So by association, under God and our families and friends around everyone, I just want this on camera. I told you I love you most. So by association, that means that every time that we say I love you most, I love you most. Because I stood in front of God and said it, declared it.
And Bob the drag queen swear to God.
Okay, yeah.
I was a lie because he doesn't believe in God.
But I believe in God, so it counts.
Yeah, if you say.
So that's where I win because Marvin and I have this ongoing argument. Not argument, I want to say argument, but we always do this thing where I'll say like, I love you, and he'll say I love you too, and I'll be like, I love you most, and then he'll be like, I love you most.
I love you.
But I love him most.
I don't.
And the fact that in front of everyone, he didn't say it in his vow.
I say it every day.
I say it every day, but I say it every day, and I put it in my vow.
I said it first.
Said it and put it in my vows. You didn't put it in your vows. You could have put it in your vows, and you chose not to.
I didn't need to put it in my vows. Facts are facts, and I love you most. Whatever. Back on track. I know we talked a lot about the weddings in the last episode, so I don't think we have to go too much deep into it, but just real quick. Besides us getting married, what would you say was your favorite part of the wedding?
Gosh, that's a really good question. There were so many things that was my favorite. Definitely down the aisle, seeing you. That probably is top. If I can do top 3, can I do top 3?
Top 3.
Okay,
if you start to steal my answer, I will stop you.
So down the aisle, when I got to take a look at you right before we, made our vows. And then I would say seeing just like our family and our friends all together, all happy, all having a good time, just seeing everybody just happy really made me happy. And then I would say just like having the closest people to me, just around me, supporting me and loving me is probably like, that's like top 3. Like, but definitely like the moments with like you and I, the little moments, the little glances, the sweet little, back and forths.
Yeah, of course.
The actual getting, the getting married parts of the wedding.
Getting married. As one does on their wedding.
As one does on their wedding day. Okay, what about you?
So for me, I definitely think seeing and hearing how much fun my great-grandmother had at the wedding, that was something that was like very important to me. So my great-grandmother, I want to say she just passed last year, and I think she was maybe, that was what, 2024? So she had to have been, I want to say maybe 85 going on 86, I want to say. So the fact that she was even at my wedding was a blessing, but the fact that she was, coherent and there enough to be like, this is such a happy day. She was smiling, she was cheesing. They even got her up to dance. So seeing and hearing all these things was such a blessing that I will always cherish. The fact that we have some of the stuff like on video like that, that means the world to me. So like to be able to have that, I think that was something that was so special, so great.
Oh, yeah.
Then if I have like a runner-up, I know you probably hated this moment, but honestly, I really enjoyed all of us doing the YMCA. That was honestly just a fun time to me.
So that was fun.
We got like, I think me and you on stage with possibly like a couple more party, and then everybody's just in the audience doing the West Side. Like that was a fun time.
That was a fun time. I'm not gonna lie, it was fun.
So yeah, those are like my like top 2, if I have to like say, because that's what really felt like. I am just so happy in this moment, just really enjoying my wedding day, which is the beginning of me getting ready to spend the rest of my life. Yes, I know you're doing. This is the beginning.
This is the beginning of the rest of your life.
Shout out to RuPaul. She makes hits. But yeah, I think that covers everything for the wedding and stuff. We'll get to the Bachelor. No, not the Bachelor.
We're going to get to the Bachelor.
Yeah, we're going to do the Bachelor again. But we're going to get to our honeymoon. Probably not in the next episode, because in the next episode, we're going to have a lot of fun and we're going to have some March Madness. But we'll get to the honeymoon eventually. But until then, if you guys enjoyed this episode, please give it a like, a comment, or anything like that. And if you learned anything from this episode, please share it with someone else so they're able to really enjoy this podcast as well, because we want this to be the best and really get out there and, I guess, help everybody, but also just like entertain as many people as we can. So until next time, where can they find you?
They can find me at... I always do that. I always do that.
And find you at somewhere. So where can they find you at?
You can find me on Instagram at rosegold_Ray, RAE. Or you can find me on my nail page on Instagram, which is Nails by Rachel W, RACHAEL.
All right, perfect. And you can find me on Instagram at Marvin_Martian10. And you can follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at Meant to Be Pod. Thankfully, those have been getting a little bit of traction on there. So, hopefully we'll get some more people coming and seeing the podcast. But make sure you guys are liking, reposting, commenting, all that stuff. But as we always say, until next time, make sure that you always... Stop it, woman.
You drug that out.
Keep it real. Keep it God. See you guys.